Today, we're going behind the headlines. We've got new satellite images that are giving us a real bird's eye view of the recent strikes across Iran. And they reveal some pretty precise damage to key military and nuclear sites. So let's dig into what the evidence from space is actually telling us. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the hard visual evidence. Then, we'll cover the official statements and claims being made. After that, we'll assess the real strategic impact of these strikes, and finally, we'll take a look at what military capabilities Iran still has left. All right, first up, let's get to the ground truth. We're going to cut through all the noise by focusing on what we can actually see in these satellite photos, which have been reviewed by BBC Verify. We're starting our analysis at Bandar Abbas. Now, you've got to understand, this place is critical. It's the main headquarters for the Iranian Navy, right there on the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil choke points in the world. And the evidence here, well, it's pretty undeniable. You can clearly see smoke billowing from several ships, which points to direct hits right in the heart of their naval power. Okay, now let's zoom in on this one ship, the IRNS Macron. And look, this wasn't just any old vessel. This was Iran's largest naval asset, basically a floating sea base and a carrier for drones. Seeing it like this, with thick black smoke just pouring out of it, that's powerful evidence. It strongly suggests a major strategic piece has been taken right off the board. And this wasn't an isolated incident. If we move over to the Konarak Naval Base, we see a very similar story. Multiple vessels are damaged, and even buildings on the base itself look like they've been completely leveled. And when you lay it all out like this, you really start to grasp the sheer scope of this operation. I mean, look at this. This wasn't just about the Navy. They hit naval assets, missile and drone bases, sensitive nuclear-related sites, and even command and control centers in the capital, Tehran. This was comprehensive. So, moving beyond the ships, these strikes were clearly aimed at degrading Iran's ability to project power from a distance. We've got confirmed damage at missile bases in Horgu and Tabriz. And as this image shows, extensive destruction at the Choka Balke drone base, hitting storage, bunkers, launch equipment, the whole shebang. You know, what's really striking here is that it seems like nothing was off limits. They had some incredibly sensitive and symbolic targets. We're talking about visible damage at the Natanz nuclear site, and even at the headquarters of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. Hitting their command center isn't just about taking out a building. That's a direct strike at the very heart of the regime's power structure. Okay, so we've seen the pictures. Now let's see how the official storylines lines up with the visual evidence. What are the leaders and military commands actually saying about all of this? Well, from the United States, the message couldn't have been much clearer. President Trump didn't pull any punches, stating very plainly that the objective was to annihilate the Iranian Navy. And backing that up, you have the head of U.S. Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper. He paints a picture of a naval force that has been completely shut down, unable to operate in its own backyard and in these crucial maritime zones. And CENTCOM put a hard number on their claims, 17. They say they destroyed 17 Iranian vessels, and get this, that number includes what they describe as Iran's most operational submarine. So they're really trying to quantify the scale of their success. Of course, amid all these military claims, we have to talk about the human cost. And this is where things get very murky, with dramatically different reports. Iranian officials are pointing to a specific, tragic incident. At least 160 people killed, including children, in a strike on a school. Meanwhile, the human rights activist news agency is reporting a much higher civilian death toll of over 1,000 since the conflict began. So we've seen the damage, and we've heard the claims. Let's get to the big question. What does this all really mean strategically for Iran and for the stability of the entire region? According to military experts, the impact on Iran's conventional forces is severe. Vice Admiral Mark Millett, the former head of the Irish military, concluded that Iran's ability to wage a traditional war at sea with its big warships has been, in his words, largely neutralized for now. Right, so the impact here is multi-layered. It's not just about sinking ships. The strikes seem to have suppressed their conventional attack capabilities, reduced the ballistic missile threat, and by hitting sites like the IRGC headquarters, may have even degraded the state's internal security apparatus. And analysts are already connecting the dots. The Institute for the Study of War is pointing to a noticeable decrease in Iranian missile attacks against regional adversaries. They suggest this isn't just a coincidence, but rather strong evidence that those strikes on missile infrastructure were in fact successful.
But hold on, this isn't the end of the story, not by a long shot. Because taking out large warships and missile bases is one thing, but it's absolutely critical to understand what military options Iran still has on the table.
And this is where experts are quick to caution everyone. Iran still has a significant capacity for what's called asymmetric warfare. We're talking about armed drones, hard-to-detect mini submarines, a shadow fleet of tankers, and swarms of small, fast boats armed with anti-ship missiles. They still have a lot of ways to cause trouble. So, the crucial takeaway here is that we might be seeing a major strategic shift. With its conventional navy in tatters, analysts expect Tehran will now lean much more heavily on these unconventional, asymmetric tactics to harass shipping and project power in the region.
To sum it all up, the satellite images we've seen confirm that a significant blow has been dealt to Iran's conventional military forces. But, and this is a big but, this has likely reshaped, not eliminated, the threat it poses. What's left is a potent, and perhaps less predictable, unconventional capability. And that leaves us with the critical question moving forward. Have these strikes successfully crippled Iran's military machine, or have they inadvertently forced it to evolve, creating a more unpredictable and arguably more dangerous asymmetric adversary? We'll be tracking this situation very closely as it develops. For more analysis like this, grounded in verifiable evidence, make sure you subscribe to our Global Conflict Brief channel.